Hello Mouses, welcome to the first of these election special videos where we're going to be covering the American election. What I want to do with this first video is to have a look at how the lay of the land is before the election results start coming out. So basically what the situation is, because we don't have a huge amount of information, but we can tally together what we've got. Now, we're starting with predictions, of course, so none of this is necessarily going to be how everything goes through the evening. But as it stands, if we have a look at the safe seats, as it is, where the states that usually vote Democrat or Republican, if they go the same way as they have been before, how will that stand? Well, from the Democrats' point of view, looking at past results suggests that they're going to do all right. Their safest states will put them over 100 points ahead compared to the Republicans' safest seats. So, providing nothing changes, they're going to start off with quite a large lead. Whether that plays out, of course, is very different. According to all the polls and all the information that's been coming out of news media, it suggests that this election is very closely run. So whether that translates to some of the Democrats' safe areas having gone Republican this time, or whether they're going to stay Democrat and most of the other swing states have gone Republican, I don't know. We're going to have to find out later in the evening. Talking about things that we're going to have to find out later in the evening, most of the major news networks in America have agreed not to release their exit poll information until voting is closed in each state. So, for example, if you're looking at the state of New York, until the New York state closes, New York's exit polls won't be available. So that's going to cause a lot of trouble for people like me who are trying to report the news before it's actually happened and try to predict things based on what people say they've done. But also got to remember that even when we get the election results for the exit polls, what the exit polls say and what actually happens are two different things, because a lot of people will hide what they voted for. So they might say, oh, I voted Republican, but they've voted Democrat, or vice versa, because they don't want to say what it is. And a lot of people just won't talk to the exit poll people. I've actually been one of the people who does polling in that case, and the majority won't talk to you, because, of course, we're allowed a secret ballot, and a lot of people take that very seriously. So we can't listen to what the exit polls say, because they'll be skewed. Partly they'll be skewed because most people won't talk, and partly because the ones that do talk don't always tell you the truth. But the idea of closing the election polls off until after the ballots are closed is an interesting one, because the current theory is that exit polls actually change election results. One of the things to remember is, back when it was Bush and Kerry running, the exit polls suggested a Kerry win, and then a Bush win came out. Whether this is because, like I said, a lot of people don't tell you what they voted for, whether it's because people skew the exit polls because they don't tell you the truth, or whether it is actually later voters that changed it. Because you've got to remember, a lot of people don't always vote. But if they see that the person they don't want to win is currently winning, then they go out and vote. So a late vote on a Kerry win could push it to Bush, which seems to be what happened. So that's the reason why we're not getting the exit poll results early on this time, because they don't want to change the outcome by observing it, to use a physics term. Which is fair enough, that's perfectly good. Perfectly legitimate reason, just it makes things a bit difficult for us here trying to predict. So if we can't get exit polls, what can we get? Well, there's always the internet for help, isn't there? At the moment, Twitter, as you might see behind me, have a Twitter political index page. And it's basically collating pro-Obama and pro-Romney tweets and producing an index suggesting who might be in the lead. And currently it's got a 10-point lead for Obama, although what those points actually mean I'm not entirely sure, but it seems that most people are talking in pro-Obama terms. Furthermore, although exit polls are being held back, the Huffington Post have revealed a little bit of information. It's not an awful lot. It's suggesting that Obama has a lead in New Hampshire. New Hampshire is one of those that gives 4 points to whoever wins in the American collegiate system. So you need 270 points to get the White House, and At the moment, New Hampshire is leaning toward giving those 4 points that it has to Obama. Again, this isn't an awful lot of information, and we're not sure whether it's actually going to go that way, because it's only 28 votes to 14 at the moment, so there's plenty of space for Romney to actually take this. But New Hampshire did go Obama in 2008, so that's interesting. So what have we got at this moment? Not a huge amount of information, but what we have is suggesting pro-Obama. But again, this is the internet talking, which means that for the majority of the time, it's the younger vote. It's a lot more older people these days, and a lot more active older people than active young people. Young people talk a lot, but do they go out and vote? Not always. Mind you, having said that, not all old people go out and vote. So we can't tell what's going on. It's very much the fact that the information we have is skewed. And because it's a young vote skewing, then it's going to be pro-Obama, because that's where the young vote is at the moment. Whether that'll change in the future, I don't know. But for the moment, a lot of the young, active and vocal ones, and that's another thing to remember, are pro-Obama. So we can't get a huge amount of very useful information from what's being talked about, because it is so skewed. But right now, it does seem like Obama is going to win based on the very, very little information we have, and we'll have to wait and see whether that changes. Okay, that's all for now. I'll be back later. Remember to click the like button, share it with your friends, so that they can see what's going on at the ground level before all the major information comes in. And subscribe for future videos so that you get information as we have it. Until next time, I've been Kirk-Robinson. You're watching election special videos on the Knob Mouse channel. I'll see you later.